Hey, this is David Hayter. You may know me as the screenwriter of films like X-Men, X-Men 2, and Watchmen, but you probably know me best as the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. And you're listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Kept you waiting, huh?
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast and the #1 podcast in the Pacific, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Kasanova, and today I am honored to have the one, the only, the owner of PowerGPU, the one and only Jessie. Dude, how you doing today?
Good, and you? Hope everything's been fantastic over there.
Well, we survived these tropical storms. I know a lot of people would be like, what? Tropical storms? That's a breathe. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, Hawaii usually doesn't have much weird weather going on. And when it hits, it's like, they're like, oh, we got the power out. How long is that going to take? Some time.
Because it doesn't happen that often over there. Yeah.
No, not at all. So, man, it's been a hectic week. But dude, we're here to talk about you, not Hawaii's BS weather. How you doing? Like, how's everything?
What do you mean? I want to learn more about Hawaii. No, just been good. Just been busy. Staying busy. Sleep is non-existent, but it's okay. We're getting there.
so, dude, the thing about sleep, it really is non-existent. Like, people think, especially because you and I, we were just talking about this before we start recording about doing this full time as a career. It's like when you go into entrepreneurship, your sleep goes from here, or it probably was more like here, to down here. So it happens when it happens.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. Since we have 3 kids already, the sleep was kind of already not used to being there. So doing the business, it was kind of like, I guess we've been training for the past 9 years. So we're kind of used to it now at this point. So if we get 4 hours of sleep, it's like, well, it's just like having a baby again. So we're good. We're used to it. Whatever.
Dude, my wife and I, we're about to have, my third and her first kid. So,
oh, nice.
It's that process. I'm like, man, I haven't been here in like 7, 8 years.
So the process, you got to relearn that process again.
Right?
Yeah.
So before we started recording, I went outside and so we got our registry and everything going. So we just got our baby swing and everything. And I'm over here like, man, this is real again.
It hits you, doesn't it? That's how it was for us, because our first one she's 9, our second was 7, and then we just had our third one. The first year of our business when we first started going. So she was pregnant in 2019 when I first started this. So yeah, same scenarios, kind of 7 years later to do it all over again.
It's like people are like, how do you prepare? You don't prepare for parenthood.
No,
you do as best you can, but like nothing prepares you for it.
No, it's just one of the things you kind of wing it and you kind of learn as you go.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So speaking of which, man, let's talk about PowerGPU. I mean, you've been personally building computers since 1999, even though 1999, I'm old. I feel like that does not feel like that long ago. I remember.
To me, it doesn't either. Yeah, to me, it doesn't either. I was playing my Dreamcast at the time. I was like, I mean, yeah, it doesn't feel like that long ago, but it is though. It's 22 years going now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 2021.
Oh my God! Like, dude, I remember.
If you put it in that perspective, then it changes, and you're like, oh God, wait, that was a long time ago. That's how it works. I mean, that's how it is.
I remember being there day one for the Dreamcast launch, getting Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, freaking Power Stone.
Yep, Shenmue, all that stuff. Dreamcast was my favorite console. I love that console.
It should have lasted. Like, I understand Sega made some poor business decisions, but like, there was nothing like it. As much as I love the PlayStation 2, it was not the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, no. I still remember playing. That was my first console I played online, NBA 2K, off of dial-up. It was terrible, but it was fun. At the time, we weren't used to a whole latency and ping. I mean, it was literally just stuttering the whole time because it was through dial-up. But that's what we're used to, and we thought that was cool. Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't fly.
No.
Even if you have like 2 or 3 MS, people are just already complaining. So no, now it doesn't fly.
Do you remember that the whole thing you can get with the Sega Dreamcast, like the browser disc, and you can get the keyboard and the mouse and everything?
Browse the website. Yep. You can browse the web. You can do all that stuff. Yep. I was importing a lot of games from Europe as well at the time because I was a huge fan of Shenmue, and Shenmue 2 didn't come out on Dreamcast, so I was like, I want to get it now, so I had to import it from Europe, and I used this thing called DCX to make it work. To make it work on the US version. Like, it was crazy. That was such a good console. It was very unique. The Sonic Adventure game actually you're talking about had a little memory card thing where you can control your pets and stuff. It was a pretty unique console for sure.
It was so ahead of its time.
It was running on Windows CE, to give you an idea, which is crazy.
Okay. 21 years, 22 years ago?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, well, 20 years because it came out at the end of 1999. So, yeah. I should have never started the podcast with this because now you're questioning life. What happened?
Seriously though, like it's crazy because I've had some guests I've interviewed and like content creators, and like they'll tell me like they were born in either like 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and I'm like, really? You were born then? They're like, yeah. I was like, that doesn't feel like I've got a Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. I'm like, I remember going to the arcades with my brothers, and we were always in the arcade. Like it's crazy because I can go back to the early late 80s, early 90s, and I remember that vividly. And it's like, the idea that there are adults like this generation is Generation Z or whatever they are, like they've come up and
no, it's definitely looking back at gaming and what it is now. It's a big difference, massive difference.
Goodness. Anyway, all right, stepping out of the DeLorean, dude, let's talk about it. So you've been building your own personal computer since '99. You have gone into being an entrepreneur and just going full on with PowerGPU since 2019, which, God, that's already two years ago.
Yeah, we just hit 2 years. We just hit 2 years. Man. Yeah. It started January 2019, so January 2021. Yeah, so 2 years now.
So, but walk us through that process, man. Like, how has that been going into full-time entrepreneurship? You got your own warehouse and everything like that. You got your staff, like. So
it's honestly, here's to kind of answer a few questions at the same time, because I get asked this a lot, especially when I stream or when I do a video on Twitter. People usually comment like, "How did you start? How did you get to where you're at?" There's a lot of people that want to do something similar because there's a lot of people out there that love to build their own computers. And it's I found building computers very relaxing, very like therapeutic. You can kind of, go into your zone, start building, listening to music. So a lot of the builders here, when we're working, they find their job extremely relaxing. And that's why they love coming to work, because building computers is fun. It's like a lot of people say, it's like adult Legos, essentially. Yeah. It's more advanced, but it's something that relaxes the mind. And it's, I mean, of course, obviously there's some issues here and there with, some parts that doesn't want to work, but that comes with it. But no, I mean, honestly, this whole trip, like it says on the website, I've been building since 1999. I pretty much started building them because my buddy, he was playing on an old Packard Bell with a TNT2 GPU. Then I had another buddy with the Voodoo series, and we were playing this game called 4x4 Evolution, which is like an off-roading truck little game. Then we got into Far Cry, and I was like, I need more FPS, I need more performance. So then I started like building stuff out at that point. And I really got into it in high school, like in 2003, 2004. is when I built my first like crazy monster. I spent like it's close to like $3,000. Back at that time, that was very expensive. For
it's crazy expensive.
Yeah. And the way I did that was I've actually been quote unquote an entrepreneur since I was a kid. Because even since I was like 12 years old, which I kick myself in the butt for this every day and I can't stand it. I used to sell Pokemon cards back when I was in middle school. So all these people pulling out all these Pokemon cards and stuff and Charizard, I actually had the original Japanese version Charizards and all that stuff. The stuff that's worth like $300,000 right now. And I used to flip cards. Editions. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
So I used to buy them or I used to trade them continuously, and I used to make money off that when I was a kid. So I used to buy all my old stuff. I used to buy my own consoles with it. I used to do all that stuff because I was literally flipping cards. I'd never played the Pokemon cards. I just saw it as I can make money off this as a kid. Mm-hmm. So I had my Trapper Keeper. Gee, probably I don't remember those. But I
do.
My Trapper Keeper, and I would go around school and I would be selling cards. I'd be trading and I'll be wheeling and dealing. So I got it from my mom because my mom's she's been into sales all her life. So that's what I was doing, and I started realizing that when I got into the computer scene, a lot of people wanted other people to build the computers for them. So I started doing stuff on Craigslist and just here and there, and then I got into overclocking. I got into like using liquid nitrogen to overclock GPUs and CPUs. And then I found a website called 3D Mark Vantage, which is a website where you can kind of benchmark your computer against other people around the world. Mm-hmm. And I got really heavily into that. I think the highest I got was like ranked number 8 in the world, which was extremely tough to do. And then I built one for my brother-in-law when SLI first came out with 2 GPUs. Then when we got it, those 2 computers got featured on NVIDIA's website back in 2006 for SLI Rig of the Month. And then from that moment in 2006, I really got into it. And I really, when YouTube launched, I got into YouTube, but I wasn't really pushing a lot of content. It was just for fun. Mm-hmm. So in 2009 is when I came out with the name PowerGPU. And then I uploaded from 2009 till now, I've uploaded 400 plus videos on there just as a, for fun things. So there's a bunch of old videos on there. You see me from overclocking, benchmarking, doing SLI, crossfire, tweaking, deleting CPUs, just all this stuff, all for fun. I didn't know YouTube was a place where you could actually make money and make content to that extent. I was making some money at the time. I got partnered with YouTube back like in 2012, and then they took it away because they changed all the algorithms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this off and on since that time, and I built a local reputation with clients here because I worked at Tiger Direct for 8 years as well while I was doing all this. So I had clients that would come in to see me at Tiger Direct to build them their computers. Then outside as well, they would come up to me and be like, hey, I want you to fix a computer for me, this and that. So I started doing all this as a local business, built my reputation. And then when I found out about Twitch in 2015, a lot of my friends were like, hey, you already have all the equipment. You should start streaming. I already had a DSLR camera. I had 2 PCs already. So I was one of the first ones to do a dual PC setup and a DSLR camera on stream back in 2015. So when people came to see my stream, they saw a DSLR camera, they saw a nice mic, and they saw the quality of a single, like the PC running dual PC. It wasn't by itself. Mm-hmm. People were like, how are you getting all these frames? How's your stream look so clear? Everything. They started asking me questions. So I started getting to the point where people started coming in more and more into the streams and asking questions. So I was like, let me open up a Discord, started answering questions there. So I started answering questions there. And then people were like, hey, can you help me set up my dual PC? So I was like, yeah, sure. I helped them change their audio settings. I told them what camera to get, what capture card to get. And then from that moment on, the word spread really quickly. And this is about 2 years before Fortnite came out. And I just kept helping a bunch of creators from the Destiny community, the Call of Duty community, and all these other communities. And then when Fortnite came out, that's when everything broke loose, which I honestly still, till today, I tell people Fortnite, all the content creators you see right now on Twitch and on Twitter, a lot of people's success has come from Fortnite, which is crazy to think about. I mean, but it did. That's where I met Myth before he got big. At that time, I think he only had 5,000 followers when I first met him. We were talking. I set up his dual PC. I set up his stream, set everything up, and then boom, he skyrocketed with the whole. I think he played against Summit 1G on a 1v1 or something like that, and then that video went viral. Then his followers went from like 5,000 followers to like 200,000-300,000 within like the first 2 weeks. Then he went from averaging like 80 to 100 viewers to like thousands of viewers. And then he tagged me on Twitter. At the time, I think it was like 300 something followers at the time. It wasn't that much because I wasn't really too active on Twitter. And then when he tweeted that out, all the other people that followed him from all that exposure he got with the blow up, Courage from 100 Thieves reached out, and he's like, I want the same thing. Can you please set up my dual PC? Can you please set up these settings? So I helped him. Then after I helped him, then Cypher PK reached out. Then we did his stuff. I flew out to his house, did a PC build for him and all that stuff. Then it just went from there. Scissors from FaZe, then so-and-so from FaZe, and so-and-so from NRG, then Symphony, then Matt from 100 Thieves. Then it just started just going back and forth. And then as Fortnite was blowing up, I was the only one in the industry doing this. I was the only one doing dual PC setups. There was nobody else out there, doing it. Helping content creators to set up that stuff. Then I got to the point I told my wife, I said, look, I got to start charging these people because it's just getting ridiculous. Like I can't keep up with this demand. So once I made the Discord, I put the Discord on, I started putting a bunch of stuff on there, like how to do it, just little simple guides. I did YouTube videos, how to do it. And then that's when in 2018, again, we started helping out so many creators. I was building, at that time, I was probably building about 30, 40 PCs a month by myself. And on the side
by
doing
yourself.
Yeah, I was by myself all of 2018 doing this full time. I barely slept. It was kind of crazy. And some of these but that's the crazy part. That wasn't the busy part of the business. The busy part was doing the optimization for people's PCs and doing the dual PC setup and telling them what to get. So I would have appointments like at 3 a.m, at 2 a.m, at 4 a.m. So I was doing all these calls while I was building PCs, installing Windows drivers, optimizing it, and then shipping them out as well. So I did that all of 2018. And then I was working at Best Buy at the time for 2 years. And my manager, Chris, he was into gaming. So he watched content creators. He watched a lot of streamers. And he was watching me grow, and he was happy for me. So anytime I needed to take a phone call or anything like that, he'd be like, yo, just go take the phone call. He goes, just worry, that's fine. So in 2019, I told him, I said, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I have to quit. I have to go do this full time. I see the growth. I see everything's just exploding on me. This was 2018 around November-ish. And then that's when I met Cloaksy. He needed help with his dual PC setup. So then after I helped him, he shouted us out. And then Tifu needed help as well. And then he started working with me in December. And then when I quit in January of 2019, when I went full time and I did that video, from there, it just started blowing up. And I got to the point I got so busy. My friend saw that. So then he's like, hey, I can help you out. I'm not working right now. He goes, you don't have to pay me. Because at the time, I wasn't making enough to pay an employee. But he's like, I'll just do it for fun. Just buy me food or whatever. So for the first two months, I wasn't paying him. And I told him, I said, look, I got to pay you. I feel bad. You're not, you're doing this for free with me. So it's just me and him. And then the first year, just me and him doing this full time. I was doing all the sales. I was doing all this stuff. I was still building. He was helping me build as well. Because I taught him how to build back in 2011, back when we were Tiger Direct, how to do a custom loop and all that stuff. And it was just us two the first year till about September. And that first year, we went from 2,000 followers on Twitter to 50,000 followers the first year. And we did, from the previous year in 2018, I did $200,000 in sales to 1.1 million the first year in 2019. Just us two. And that was me working emails nonstop. Because we have to do, there's no it's not like you go to a CyberPower's website or other companies where they can kind of select the parts and just add to cart and that's it.
Yeah.
Mine was all emails back and forth of interacting with these clients or doing appointments with them. Like right now we're talking, I'll be like, okay, what CPU do you want? Okay, pull up, put that on the invoice. Was there anything else you're using it? Whatever. So I was doing all these calls, all these meetings and invoicing, sending back and forth emails. So it took up a lot of my time. But then I kept begging my wife to join us in 2019 because she's been doing business administration work for years, and she studied in school, all that stuff. So she was working for a few offices that she was managing, and she's my wife is amazing when it comes to work ethic. She puts 100% wherever she works, which is amazing. It's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing, but a bad thing. It's one of those things where people see that she's a hard worker and they'll take advantage of that. but at the same time, it's a good thing. And I was the same way when I was a Tiger Direct. I put in 100% of my time. I was always focused on making sales because it was 100% commission, and I had kids and stuff like that. So, but my wife and I, we were really hard workers. So when I begged her to leave, she was like, "Look, I'll help you a little bit here and there." But she's already managing 3 stores or 3 offices. You know, we have kids. You know, so we were all over the place. So finally, she started helping me at the end of 2019. And then she went full time with us last year, around February-ish, March is when she quit her job. And then at that time, we had 3 employees. It was myself, my friend, and then another friend joined me, and then my wife joined me. So it was us 4. And then from there, when my wife joined, she did a lot of back end stuff that I could not do and I didn't want to do. And then when she came on, I was able to focus more on social media. I was able to, focus more on doing my meetings, focus on other things that could help the company grow. And then from last year, which last year was our craziest growth I've ever seen. I wasn't even expecting this to happen. We went from 50,000 followers on Twitter to, I think it was 200,000 last year. And then we went from the 1.1 million the previous year to last year to 4.5 million in sales. So the jump was ridiculous at that point. And this is still, the crazy part is we're still doing this off the old website. We haven't launched our new website yet. So we're still using the original website that we made back in February of 2019 when I first started doing this, which is a very basic website. So the new website, it's been being worked on for the past 5 months. So hopefully once that comes out, well, not hopefully, it's going to happen. It's going to be kind of scary, but we're scared because the amount of traffic we do now in volume is scary. And I can't imagine if we make it easier for the consumer to purchase from us, it's going to be even crazier. But fast forward to now, we're here now, and now we have 19 employees. We have this facility that's 10,000 square feet. We went from our original house was in the living room. We were doing this. We rented a house to do it in the garage, and now we're here. So it's been a crazy last 2 years, to say the least. So it's been nuts. We have a great team. Honestly, a lot of my friends are working with us. Which the gentleman, the boss that was at Best Buy, that was my manager. Mm-hmm. He now works with us as the warehouse manager. He quit Best Buy after 14 years working with them. Now he's working with us, which is crazy. I called him up. I was like, "Look, you did so much for me. I want you to work with us." And he's like, "I'm down." He goes, "Let's do it." So now he's working with us, which is crazy to say the least. Yeah,
that is insane.
Yeah. A lot of information. I'm sorry. I was like I was trying to speed everything up to kind of give you.
No. I didn't want you to speed up. We enjoy the ride. Like this is the type of stuff. Like myself and my audience, we love hearing because that you hear a lot about. Here's where I started. Here's where I am. But few people talk about the in between, the journey from here to here, because that can be either a slow burn or it can be you got strapped to a rocket and boom.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where we had to change because before, that's the other thing I kind of didn't really touch on it. Before all this, which a lot of people think, to answer the question of people say, how'd you get here to where you're at right now? Because they want to do the same thing. I started this company with 0 capital. Mm-hmm. So before all of this, my wife and I, we were struggling before all this. I think that's what really would motivate us the most. Before all this, the 14 years we've been married, we've had our ups and downs. We almost lost our house. We've got our cars repoed twice. All the above. We were on food stamps. We were on Medicaid, all that stuff because we were struggling, as the average American household actually does a lot of times because it's tough. So before all this, we were at that bottom. We were struggling really hard. So I think once I saw the doors open, and my wife and I both saw it, we did not let go of the gas. We've been hitting the gas full throttle. It's something we love doing. Our biggest, the thing that makes us the happiest is to see clients happy. We're not in it for the money, to be honest with you. I mean, we live comfortable, simple lives. My wife and I still don't get paid from this company. We're not going to probably for the next 2 or 3 years because all we need is just to pay our bills and that's it, and just to have a roof over our heads. So I'd rather have the employees happy, pay them what they want and what they need to support their families. So it's one of those things where people are like, "Oh, I need thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a company." You actually don't. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's going to have the same path as I did. Everyone's going to have a different path. So obviously I'm not saying you don't need money. Some people might need money. It just depends on how you do it. And a lot of it had to do with timing. That's the other thing too. Timing was the biggest thing, which a lot of times that's how it is with businesses. It's just timing. A lot of times, I mean, who knows if I didn't start this around the Fortnite craze? Who knows where we would be? Right?
Do you ever have moments where you're like, you think about that?
Oh yeah. If Fortnite was never a thing, or I don't know if we would be, I don't know where we would be, honestly. I think the company would have grown, but I don't think it would have grown at this rate. I think we would have been a lot smaller. We probably still would have been, we wouldn't have been in this warehouse. We would be probably back at home still, kind of, slow and steady. But I think since we did it at the right time, where literally there was nobody else doing this, except for the big companies that have been doing this for 20 years already, we would kind of fit in that little space in between where there was nobody really doing this below us, but above us, you had all these big companies doing it. So a lot of people liked to support us because they wanted to see us grow. Now, actually, it's crazy. Now, if you fast forward to 3 years or 2 years now, there's actually a bunch of companies that have started PCs, like PC building companies. There's a ton of them. I mean, you could probably see them. You can go on Twitter. You can find at least 40 or 50 of them doing the same thing. So now you have a space where there's a lot of companies that are starting out of nowhere. And we're kind of now in between them and these big multi-million-dollar companies now. And we're trying to keep it balanced because the hardest thing to do is to keep the way you run your business as you started to when you start becoming a lot bigger. And that's the biggest worry that a lot of people have with any company, really. So my number one focus is still focusing on customer service and making sure everyone gets taken care of before anything else. So working in retail for 15 years, I think I've come to realize and learn that if it's something simple to make your client happy, just do it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Just do it. Money should not be involved. There shouldn't be any, like, obviously if it's something ridiculous, obviously you got to, look into it. But if it's something simple, like if it's $30, we're talking about 20, 40, just be done with it. You know what I mean? Just give them the refund or do whatever. And I've learned that in the years of working retail, you're going to tick off a customer for 20, 30 bucks. You're going to lose clients and maybe more clients and all their friends. You know what I mean? So, that's been the hardest struggle, but that's how the journey's been. It's just been one of those crazy roller coasters now at this point. So
does it feel like a blur at times?
It does. It does. 100%. It does. I don't even feel like I wake now. Like now that we have more people working with us and now that we have this facility, it's crazy. Now we actually have more time for ourselves as a family because now we have people to help us out. But yeah, no, it still feels like a blur. I wake up in the morning. I still don't believe what's going on. Honestly, I still don't understand it. Like it's just, it's a blessing. I mean, it's really, really been a blessing for the family. So it's just one of those things. And for our friends, a lot of the 19 employees, I think 16 of them are close friends of ours and they quit their jobs to work with us. So it's been fun. We hang out, we have fun, and the company's moving forward.
That's inspiring.
I hope it's it's not been a simple road either. There's been a lot of emotional moments. There's been a lot of ups and downs. So I hope people don't think it's just been like a, simple, it's been happy joy. No, there's been a lot of rough patches. I can honestly tell you that it's not easy by no means. So but it's a blessing at the end of the day.
It is. And it's when you're looking to go into business for yourself and do stuff like to take effectively a calculated risk, to do something like this. And a lot of people, they don't see the behind the scenes. They just see where you started, where you ended up. And, I can fully relate to, when you're saying like at one point you were struggling. Dude, I understand that. Yeah. When I left doing like Cisco and telephony to doing this, like that was a struggle.
Yeah. No, I could imagine. Yeah. No, for sure. Taking that jump is very, and I will honestly tell you, people always tell me, when you took the jump, was it calculated? No, honestly, I just jumped.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no, like, I'm the type of person that I have nothing written out. I don't have like a plan. I just wing it. Everything I do is, even all my YouTube videos, all my videos you see on Twitter, I don't rehearse anything. I don't read anything. I literally just start recording and just do my thing. I mean, that's how I've done it. That's how I've always done it. And it's worked out. So I don't know. Yeah. It's just no calculated risk at all. Just kind of jump. I'm not saying don't do that. It might not work for you. It worked for me, but it might not work for you. So just be careful. I'm not saying do it. So just one of those things you got to be careful with.
That's one of the things. Like you'll get questioned all the time. It's like, is it calculated? Like what's your backup? What's this? What's that? Dude, you and I are so similar because it's like there was no plan. I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna do this. It's like
sometimes some people just need that.
Yeah.
Where they have nothing to fall back to. They just kind of need that drive to kind of make them go forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to feel, oh, you know what? If I don't do this, then whatever. I'll just go back to that. No, screw that. That's what I literally just said. Just I'm going with it. So it's I know what you mean exactly. It's one of those things for sure.
And it's a blessing having a spouse that can put up with it, the journey, and put up with the whole thing, and support and be part of it. Man, that's truly a blessing. And so how has, like, aside from like the business side of it, but dealing with the social media aspect, all the social media platforms and the algorithms and everything like that, has it been difficult finding time to spend purely for that as well, for the brand growth, for the business growth? So actually,
no. So my main job right now is actually, no one has yet, which I'm still this is probably the last thing I probably delegate, because when my wife started, she's like, you need to start delegating your work. And that's obviously you need to, because that's the only way you really grow. You can't be doing everything. The last thing for me to delegate is probably going to be the social medias, TikTok and YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. I'm still the only one that runs all of those. No one else touches them. So everything you see on social media, that's me. No one else does it.
That's training.
I live on social media. That's one of the things. And honestly, I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for this business, I would not have a Twitter. I would not have an Instagram. I would not have a Facebook. I hate social media, to be honest with you. But for the business standpoint, we have to have it. It's just one of those things. I know a lot of businesses locally there was this guy here in North Carolina. He had his own PC company for 20 years, storefront and everything. He had his local clients, and he was one of my clients at Target Right that would come in to buy stuff. And I would always tell him, look, you need to start your social media, because this is turning into a digital world. People are starting to see stuff online, and you can't just run off your local business anymore on PCs. Unfortunately, after 20 years, he had to shut down. He didn't do anything on social media, not a single nothing. So his company died down because people started seeing that they can just go online and do stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. He was building computers, he was doing this stuff, and it's just local business is not enough anymore. You have to have an online presence to really make your company grow. 99% of our business is online. I think we've had a few people pick up locally, but 99% is definitely online. So the whole algorithm thing on Twitter and all that stuff, I have no idea what the algorithm is. I was just wigging everything. I have no idea what time you should post or what time you should do this. I was just like, hey, that's a nice computer. I need to take a picture of that one and put it on Twitter. I'll upload it. I need to do a video on this one. I'll upload that one. I'm going to say what's up to the community. Hey, I'll do a video real quick. I'll upload it. There was no timing, no algorithm, nothing. It was just, again, just winging it. Same thing. Now, if I talk to DMP3, the guy that we do giveaways with, he's like a genius with algorithms. And he's like, no, we need to post it at this time, at this very moment. Then you need to retweet it at this moment. Then he needs to retweet it at this. That's a different, and that's why he grew so fast as well. But it's funny. No, I'm not like that at all. I was just literally just going at it. That's it. Yeah. You're going to notice a lot of the stuff is just like, there's nothing behind it.
I mean, it's when you're running everything, like all the social media, like again, here's another similarity between you and I would not have social media if not for this, like, because it's draining, like getting all these different platforms, you know, you trying to post your stuff on Twitter, post your stuff on Instagram, TikTok, all this, and Facebook, and it's just, sometimes it's like you have a checklist. Okay, I need to go here, put this here, put this here, put this here. Then I need to still go and work on this project I have to work on, or I need to go speak to this person or work with this client. People, I hope y'all understand. Days go by like this.
Oh yeah,
you're working on all that.
Oh yeah. Oh here, yeah. No, once 5 o'clock hits, we're all like, is it really 5 already? I didn't even do what I needed to do. So sometimes the team, we also decide to stay till 8 sometimes, just because we thought we finished what we had to do, and we didn't. We did other things, you know. Mm-hmm. But time definitely is non-existent when you're doing all this stuff. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Goodness. Man, it's. I was having a conversation with Big Cheese the other day about, you know, algorithmic stuff on Twitter, and he's like, yeah, just post. And I was like, all right, because I don't understand how these people like, oh, I got the secret, or this is a hack. How? Because I don't
know. I mean, there probably is an algorithm for sure, but
yeah,
me personally, I probably haven't found it yet. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just retweeting and liking, and I think that's probably what made it grow so much, is because of how active I've been for the past 2 years on there, which kind of, it's kind of like YouTube, where you need to be consistently uploading stuff to kind of make it work, type deal. And I know some people have been doing it for 3-4 years, and then they finally get that one video that goes trending, or that one video that, you know, starts, you know, getting them in the whole algorithm or whatever it is. I think that's all it's been, since I try to reply to every single tweet and all this stuff anytime we get tagged, but it's hard. I miss some, obviously, but I'm only human. I can't really get to all of them. Yeah. But I think that's
especially
pretty much
how huge your platform is. Like,
yeah, it gets tough, man. We get tagged. So we get tagged on average 40,000 times a month right now. So for me to see all those tags, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I try to, but I mean, I can't get to all of them. It's one of those things where I would probably definitely need like a pretty big team to get to all of them, but that's probably not going to be for a while.
So one of the things you had mentioned earlier was about, you know, getting a presence on social media, and how business is primarily, you know, business right now is online. How I've noticed this too with, like, especially businesses out here in Hawaii. And, you know, this is not to put down any company or anything out here in Hawaii, but I notice a lot of businesses here don't get that. Like, we have companies that are trying to do things similar to what, you know, PowerGPU is doing, but they don't have that social media presence, and the mentality is cater to local. And
yeah,
I don't know if it's because I used to work for Best Buy as well, you know, years ago, and just retail and being in the business environment, you have to have some type of online focus. You cannot focus on just where you are, because if you can't see the put like the same we have out here in Hawaii, if you can't see the wave all the way out in the ocean coming, you're gonna get wiped out.
Yeah,
sooner or later. So
yeah, no, definitely. I think, I mean, like I said, literally what drives traffic to our website and to people purchase from us is our social media. I mean, it's crazy because even everyone's been telling me to do TikTok for the longest time. And I was like, another platform I got to add to my agenda. Right. I was like, Jesus, I don't know if I want to do this. So I did like 1 or 2 videos, and I was like, okay, it's getting pretty good traction. Then I did a 3rd video, and then that video hit 500,000 views. And I was like, oh, shoot. And then our sales went through the roof. So I was like, oh, man. So, yeah, this platform does work. So I was like, oh, my God, now I got to start doing these videos too. So, yeah, no, social media is definitely, it's the biggest part of a business right now. The biggest part. Regardless if you're building computers or a content creator or anything in general, graphic design, artist design, musician, what's his name? Harris Heller with his stream beats, all that stuff. Like, that's, if you're doing stuff like that, and you need social media, for sure. Yeah. Or even giveaways like the MP3, all that stuff. You know, that's literally all social media. That's what's driving the traffic to what they're doing. You know, so yeah, it's a lot of work. Social media is definitely it's draining. It's draining. And then this whole GPU thing that's happening right now, and the whole tariffs that are raising prices. Oh my God, we hear it all day long. Oh man, I feel really bad because I don't think people realize how much my wife and I are fighting to get these GPUs for them at a lower price. Because, which I don't know if you saw my tweet today about companies even trying to scalp us to purchase from them. Like I'm like, we got an email last night from a company. I'm not going to name them, but they were trying to sell us 3090s for $2,300 when MSRP right now is $1,989. I was like, what? And then we had to bundle it with something else to purchase it. So we had to buy an old GPU from like, it was like a GT 710. So we had to bundle it with that plus spend $2,300. I was like, no, I don't want your old inventory, and no, I don't want your GPU for that price. That's ridiculous. What am I supposed to sell it to the client for? Like, that's our cost. $2,300 for a 3090, really? And they're not the only ones. It's been nonstop. There's been other companies out there reaching to us to be like, oh, hey, we got 90 units of so-and-so. But then they tell us the price. We're like, you sure that's the price? Because that's not right. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, because of the high demand. I'm like, that's not how that works. Tariffs are definitely what's been bringing it up, but it only brought it up 25%. Not what they did. So yeah, it's been really rough. It's been tough. And of course we get clients that get upset at us and this and that, but we try to explain to them, look, we can't control it. It's just, it was the supply and demand didn't reach. The gaming industry boomed with COVID. Yeah. So it really put that was like a big thing about it too, because the supply and demand could not keep up with it. And then on top of all that, then tariffs hit. So it makes everything more expensive. Then the tariffs hit, and then now companies are taking advantage of that, and they're raising the prices to this ridiculous amount, which I'm pretty transparent with stuff. We're not having it. And I told them, we're like, nope, we're not doing business with you. I'm not doing it at all. So yeah, no, it's been tough. It's been really tough. Yeah. Man. But we learn as we go. No, it is what it is.
So, I mean, do you guys work directly like with NVIDIA or AMD for getting a lot? Okay.
So we actually not all the time. So the way it works is and like the reps and stuff like that. They'll give us a rep for each brand, and then each rep would be like, okay, well, you can buy it from this distributor, or you can buy it from this retailer, or you can buy it from this store, and they'll connect us with those agents. And then those agents will contact us and be like, look, we have this many units, so on and so forth. We got there was one of those risks that we had to take last year that I was really worried about. A company, one of the distributors reached out to us and they said, hey, we have 130 units of RTX 3090s. And I was like, they're like, do you want them all? And I was like, damn, that's a lot of capital. I was like, that's a lot of money. But at the time, we were getting them at a lower price, the cost on it. So I was like, because you buy that many, you get a better discount. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I definitely contemplated it. We talked about it, and it was going to be a big chunk of our capital. And we just moved into this location, so we already spent a lot of money moving into this place. But as everything, we didn't really calculate anything. We just said yes. I just told my wife, just do it. I don't care, just do it. We did, and we're glad we did, because literally a month later, tariffs hit. So prices of all those GPUs jumped up $300-$400. So we got them at a good price. We have to sell them at the correct pricing, which we did, which is a good thing. So we were able to get clients a lower price, a lot lower price than what other companies were selling them for. So it's one of those things where they come to us and they tell us how many units they have, and it's like you just gotta have to take the risk of just doing it. And I'm glad we did at that point. So yeah, it's been tough with the whole GPU craze for sure. And CPUs now. That's another story.
Okay, let's talk about that. What about the CPUs? Like how has that been?
It's been the same thing. Literally, AMD released their 59 series, the Ryzens and stuff like that, and we couldn't get them for the first month at all. And then we had clients that were waiting, and we told them there's no time frame on these because we're still waiting to get them. But then again, we got very fortunate. The distributor reached out to us and said, hey, we got 50 of the 5900Xs, we got 50 of the 5950Xs, we got 50 of the 5800Xs. So they had all the CPU lineup. So I was like, we'll take it. And we did. And it fulfilled all of our orders that we needed to fulfill. But ever since that, I mean, it's still been tough. It's still been very tough to get them. We're getting them, just, small portions at a time. Definitely not as hard as the 3080. Definitely the 3080 is still one of those GPUs that it's a unicorn to get a hold of.
Yeah.
I can't, Big Cheese. It's funny because Big Cheese is one of our content creators that we work with, and we were supposed to provide him a 3080 in his build. I sent him an email. I was like, dude, we can't get 3080s. So screw it. I'm just going to give you a 3090. And he's like, for real? I was like, screw it, bro. I'm just going to give you a 3090. I don't care at this point. I ain't waiting anymore to give you a 3080. So that's how it's been, though. It's been crazy. It's been really nuts. But we'll see. This is in 20 years of me working in this industry, I've never seen it this crazy, especially because, COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people are at home gaming more and playing games and streaming more. And the amount of the rise in percentage of people on Steam, I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
it jumped
skyrocketed.
It jumped up I think this is 130% or something ridiculous. I was like, geez, man, it's insane. So everything's just jumping in the gaming industry. So if you're not in the gaming industry, you got to get into it now.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get even busier. It's gonna get crazier for sure. Especially once the whole COVID thing dies down and cons start happening again and events and this other stuff. That was a big part of this business as well, because I was traveling a lot to those cons, for sure, which brought a lot of business. But yeah,
man, that's one of the things too. With the whole situation with COVID and how it has literally changed, gaming and tech as a whole. That industry, literally, it just skyrocketed. And I've told a lot of people, back when it first hit, I was like, you might want to start getting into content creating, get into, pushing your business, your brand, whatever it is, because now's the time. In a situation I'll share this with you, a situation with my wife. So her company let her, she's been with her company or was with her company for 12 years.
Yeah.
And they let her go, her whole team, and she was managing several sites. And she's like, well, fuck, what do I do? Start making content.
Yeah.
Start on that, do a podcast, do this, do that. And thankfully it's done well for her. But sometimes I think, what if you didn't do it? Some of my other friends out here in Hawaii are like, oh, I'll think about it. And then now they're like, oh, you think it's still a good time? I'm like, you should have gotten in last year, months ago. You don't wait. You hop on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, which it really sucks to say this, but I think our first boost was the Fortnite scene that was happening. Our second boost was the COVID. Which again, it sucks to say that, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I hate seeing people struggle. I mean, all this stuff that's why I was hiring my friends and stuff, because it was rough. But unfortunately, that's how it worked out for us. It was kind of one of those things where before COVID, we were doing this and it helped us out tremendously because people were at home gaming, having fun. So it's been a crazy year.
And it's only just beginning.
I know.
So what's it like working with all the different content creators that you've got an opportunity to do bills for, do business with? How has that process been? Has it been fun, hectic, chaotic, somewhere in between, all of the above?
No, it's actually been a lot of fun. The thing that I did, which is another thing that kind of separated us from a lot of other companies, is that when content creators were to reach out to us, you'll soon realize this, I'm very blunt with people. I really tell them how it is. I don't like to sugarcoat anything. That's the other thing too. I guess we're 80s babies as well. So I guess we're kind of like that from that time. We're kind of more upfront than anything. Yeah. I try to be transparent, as much as possible with people. So when these creators reach out to me, and they'll be like, hey, I want to work with you. I want to do this. At the time I'd be like, look, I'm still too new. I'm still fresh in this game. I can't provide a PC or give you money or this and that when I first started. And I'll tell them frankly, look, unfortunately, I can't do that, and I probably won't be able to do that for a very long time. A lot of them actually understood. They were really nice about it. And since it was a really personal thing, since they were talking to me directly, at the time I had my DMs open. I don't anymore. DMs were open at the time.
I need to do that.
No, close it. So the reason why we closed our DMs too is because we had a team now that, all the emails go through Zendesk and all that stuff. So now everything goes through the website, and we have a team that looks at everything, and they get a faster response time now. Before with DMs, I was getting like thousands of DMs per week, and I couldn't keep up. So that's why I had to close them. But no, working with the creators, there was very little, honestly, very little people that were rude or anything like that to me as far as creators. Everyone was pretty nice. Everyone wanted to see the company grow. Even still till today, I still get creators reach out to me like, look, even though they're sponsored by other companies, they'll be sponsored by like other big companies, but they reach out to us and be like, hey, I want your computer though. And I'll be like, okay. And they're like, yeah, but I can't get sponsored by you, of course, because I'm already with this content, with this company. But I want your PC. I want your quality and this and that. So I was like, all right, cool. So we do back end stuff that, they don't promote us or anything like that because they can't. But that's how much they want us to see us succeed, that they still go through us, even though they're sponsored by their companies. But yeah, no, the biggest, I think the most interesting part was before this whole COVID thing, I was flying out to a lot of creators' houses, doing, live streams. We did Cypher PK and his wife, Danielle, invited me to their house, and we did a live stream. We built his computer live on his channel back in, I think it was 2019. And that was a lot of fun. We had a blast, got to meet them. I worked with Austin Creed. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yes.
Austin Creed, phenomenal guy, man.
He was out here 2019. I'm really cool with him. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So he was a very nice guy, man. He literally sent me a DM. He's like, hey, you want to come over, make some content, build me a computer, we'll go to Micro Center, we'll do a vlog, all this other stuff. And I was like, I'm down. We did it. And ever since then, man, he did so much stuff for us that he didn't have to, and he still did. Even till today, he literally he called me up 2 weeks ago. He's like, hey, my buddy needs a computer for his birthday. Can you help me out with that? I was like, sure. So he's been a big part as well of the company. So no, all those creators that we've worked with have been great. Made a lot of friends. The cons were really a big one for like I said, for us. For every time I'd go out there, they'll invite us to dinner, and then I'll meet more content creators. And the Fortnite World Cup for us was big. Since we revolved around Fortnite, we went to the Fortnite World Cup. A lot of people already knew us because of all the people that we've helped, all the pro players. So we got invited to a lot of dinners. That there was a lot of new creators that I haven't met. There's thousands of creators out there. It's crazy. So no, it's been great. I love dealing with them. I really miss it, honestly. I really miss it. I miss cons. I miss going to people's houses to like do stuff with them, to help them with their PCs and stuff. So hopefully once everything dies down, we'll go back to that point where now that we have a team, I can go out and do that that type of content with the creators. But
how soon do you think we'll get back to having like traditional conventions and stuff?
I don't see it till 2022. I don't see it this year still.
Okay.
The whole COVID cases are I don't know. I mean, I can't, we don't know because we don't know how the media portrays everything, but we've had a lot of family members get affected by COVID. We've had 3 people that we know personally that have died from COVID. So it's tough to say the least. And my wife's a high risk as well. So she's not good with her lungs, asthma, stuff like that. So, and her mom got it, and she's very similar. Now she has a lot of aftermath that she has to deal with. That's pretty bad. So, I don't know. Honestly, I don't personally know, but maybe I would say probably 2022, depending on how all these vaccines go and all that stuff as well. Because, cons are pretty much just a massive pool of germs. Yeah. everyone's just on top of each other. Everyone's, nobody's washing their hands. There's a lot of people that don't wash their hands. They're just sneezing, coughing. Like, it's funny. I told my wife before this COVID thing, I was still very good about washing my hands and stuff like that. But now everyone I think is becoming more on edge. A lot of times with the whole somebody being sick, or I think jobs are going to enforce it more. Later on. So now I'm like, the minute I touch a door handle, I'm washing my hands. I'm doing this. Like, I have alcohol. Literally, I'm just like spraying my hands continuously. Now at cons, I'm going to be carrying one of these and be like, I shake someone's hand, I'm going to be spraying. I'm turning into a germaphobe essentially. But it's crazy though. Ever since being at home during COVID, my kids don't go to school anymore. We've been homeschooling them now. Mm-hmm. And when they were in school, we were getting sick every other month or so. You know how it is with kids. They get sick, the parents get it, and it just spreads. Ever since COVID, we've been at home. We haven't gotten sick at all. Not one time. My kids don't get sick. I don't get sick. My wife doesn't get sick. We've been at home. We don't go out. We don't do a lot of. We just pretty much come to work. And that's the other thing too. Is we got to enforce the rules here too at work, where everyone has to stay 6 to 8 feet apart. They have to wear their mask if they leave their stations. So we've been really, really good about it. And so far, no one here has gotten it yet. So we've been good about it. But it's still one of those things that I just don't know when it's going to end. Don't know when it's going to happen. Just my biggest worry is the whole vaccines that are coming. I always mess with my friends. I'm like, I am legend. You don't know. Just saying. That's a joke. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to happen. But
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I had that conversation too because, my last job when I was working in the hospital and a lot of folks I know that have gotten it. Yeah, they.
That's a funny thing because that's a whole other discussion. But it just makes me laugh because that's how I'm Legend started with the whole. I think it was like with cancer patients. I think it was. Yeah. And they had a cure for cancer, and then they started doing the vaccines and stuff like that with some trial and error, and then it just spread from there. I'm a huge. I love post-apocalyptic stuff. I love zombies. I love all that stuff. So. Just goofing off and talking about that stuff, messing around. It's crazy to think about. I'm like, you never know. I don't know.
No, it's true. It's so true. So definitely one of the things I wanted to dive into. Last couple questions. I know you got business arrangements and everything like that, and don't want to take up too much of your time. But one of the things I really want to dive into is how is delegating your time, home life. You get 4 hours of sleep if you're lucky, right? So,
now as the company grows, we are getting more sleep. Which I would say January's probably been my best. Which actually, I just sent a DM to Harris Heller and DMP3 because we're doing a PC giveaway this today, and I literally sent them a DM because I was supposed to retweet the thing this morning at 8:00. I woke up at 9 for the first time, and I literally told them, I said I actually slept in. It's been 2 years. And I actually slept in. So the sleep is getting there. So as the team grows, we're starting to get more of a normal life. But yeah, no, it's still I guess to answer your question, I guess I don't know if you finished your question there, but
no, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those things we have to. I think the help around us is what really helped us. My mom lives here. She lives about 10 minutes away from me. So I told her as well she's not working anymore. So I said, we'll pay you to help us, with the kids and stuff like that and all that. So me and my wife we still kind of interchange days. Mondays, I'll come into work for half a day and then she'll come in the rest of the day and then I'll go back home, be with the kids. Mm-hmm. It's all about not being selfish with your own time and really just kind of understanding each other. Being married, to be with your family, to be with your wife. I make sure that, we get hours in with all our kids, with our newborn, with the other 2 kids as well. So it's just you have to balance it. You have to find that balance, and once you do, it works. It honestly does work. Having 3 kids and running a business. Yes, people are gonna be like, "Man, you must be crazy." It is, but we don't feel like it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're just used to it now. At this point, it's our normal everyday lives. So we have a lot of fun, and spending time with your family is probably one of the biggest keys to make sure that you're not only does your business reflect on how your life is outside of the business, you need to make sure your life outside of the workplace is also doing good. So you have to balance that. Because I know a lot of people that just that's the one thing I told my wife. I didn't want to be one of those people that work 24/7 that just never see their kids or never see be with their wife. So we make it to make sure that we have those certain days or certain times to be together, for sure. So it is tough, but once you start doing it, and how they say I think it's after 30 days you do a certain routine, you get used to that routine, So that's how we are now. Now we have the routine down. Now, we have, split days on Mondays, Tuesdays we're here together till 5. And then, so we're getting that routine down. And like I said, as the team grows, our routine will change a little bit. And we're literally buying more time to be with the family now at this point.
Yeah.
Is how it's working. So we're at that stage now with the company. We're pretty much buying the time. I'd rather not get paid and have someone pay someone else where I can spend the time with my family instead of me making more money myself. Again, money doesn't buy you happiness, period. That's just, that's 100%. I can't maybe for some people it might, but it's very rare. So what buys me happiness is literally me being with the family, for sure.
And to what you said earlier, just being able to pay the bills. Like I'm
That's
with
it.
you with that.
Yeah. If we have a roof over our head, I love food. So that's where my money goes. I love food. So, look, if anybody asks me, hey, what do you spend your money on? It's food. Like I love good food. So we cook as much as we can, but sometimes we just can't. So if I need to order out, I'm going to order good food. That's just how it is. So that's where most of my money goes is food. My wife's always like, wait, how much was this? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was, we had to get, the ribeye and, some good food. So which I actually blame, honestly. I have to, do you know Wildcat?
Yeah.
So I kind of have to blame him for that as well. Because every time at the Fortnite event, the World Cup, every time he invited me, he always invited me to these crazy, like fancy, insane, restaurants in New York. And I'm not used to that. But he got me hooked on the quality of food. And I was just like, oh my God, this food is good. And we had to take the other thing too is Symphony at the time. He's never had steak. He never had sushi. He's never had any of that stuff. So he was wanting to take him to places that he can try out, for the first time. Because the kid, all he did was eat Chick-fil-A. That's all he ate. That's literally all he. Yeah, he doesn't eat he doesn't like. I would say. I mean, Chick-fil-A is good food, but it's not like really good quality food. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not like restaurant. You sit down, you actually have good food. So we were taking him to places to eat, like his first steak, his first sushi, stuff like that. So, but yeah, ever since then, I'm just a stickler for food, man. Spanish food, all that stuff. I'm just all over it. But it's one of those things. Again, I got to be careful too with that because food gets expensive. Especially, we try to eat as healthy as possible, and the whole organic thing and all that stuff. That stuff is just dumb expensive. So.
You ever notice how trying to eat organic or healthy food? You ever notice how it costs more money to eat healthy?
Always.
Than to just I
feel like the system literally wants you to eat junk food, right? so they can charge you all the other crap that you need to take medication for and all that stuff. But yeah, it's funny because I've been juicing all my life since I was a kid because my mom was really into juicing, so I do juicing every day. That stuff is not cheap. It is really expensive. I mean, it's kept, obviously it's helped with my, anything with high blood pressure and stuff like that, but it is expensive, man. A bag of carrots with, cucumbers, apples, all that stuff. That one little cup's going to be like $10, $15. I'm like, you think coffee's expensive? Start juicing. You will spend a lot of money. Then if it says organic, forget it. If it says organic on the bag, raise the price even double.
So my wife right now with this baby, she's got gestational diabetes. So she's she's having to do all the juicing and whatnot. Yeah. Every time we go to the grocery store, man, I'm late looking okay, that's expensive.
Do you know how many steaks I can buy with that?
Right?
You know how many burgers I can make with that amount of money right there? Yeah. No, I know. It's expensive. It gets really expensive. God. Yeah. It's just how the system is, man. To eat healthy is hard and it's expensive. So it's like you got two things going against you. And it's really hard to keep intact, but we try every day to do it. So it's one of those things, especially as you get older, you got to be careful what you eat.
You're right.
You got to be careful what you eat. That's why I'm
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, I'm really proud of Big Cheese because he's lost a lot of weight since the whole thing that he had with his issues and stuff. So that's one of those things where, again, he said it's been hard, but he's doing it. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, he was telling me, he's like, bro, you got to get an air fryer. And I'm like,
oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone keeps telling me to get it. I'm like, is it really like living up to that hype? Because I'm used to like, Hispanic food and Southern food. So I'm like,
The Spanish food is so bad for you, man.
It's right.
So bad. I tell people that all the time. Like, look, it's amazing food, but man, when we were younger, your grandma would always be like, "Ta flaquito, come ma." And I'm like, no, man, stop. That's why I was so big when I was a kid, because they would always be like, come ma, ta flaquito. Come. I was like, oh my god, okay. It's like in our culture, it's like you can't be skinny. You have to have weight on.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But yeah, it's crazy. But no, air fryers are good. I personally we don't have one, but we actually have one here at the business, because everyone asked for one. So from the stuff that they've been showing me, it's really good. You just put a piece of chicken in there, some broccoli or whatever, and it cooks it really nicely. So it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. What I was gonna say is like, when do you ever have any plans of coming out here to Hawaii?
So the goal is hopefully once, because my wife and I, like I said, it's crazy. We haven't had our honeymoon yet. It's been 14 years. We never had our honeymoon. So we still need to do that. so we might.
So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad anymore, because my wife and I, it's been 8 years and we haven't had ours. So okay. I got time.
So go tell your wife, be like, look, listen, it's 14 years. No, it's honestly the problem. I think our situation is a little bit different, because when we got married in 2006, we weren't planning to move to North Carolina. We were in Florida, Central Florida, and my mom was a loan officer at the time. And Florida, I had been in Florida for 20 years. Central Florida, I can't stand. It's just it's congested. Everything was expensive at the time. Literally all the theme parks that are there just makes everything just really bad. But the week before our wedding, my mom tells me, you guys should check out North Carolina. It's growing. It's beautiful. The houses are dirt cheap up there. So 3 days before our wedding, we drove up to North Carolina. My wife and I fell in love with it. It was me, my wife, and my mom. We fell in love with it. My mom, or my wife, worked at she was working at the car insurance company. What was the name of the car? What's his name? The guy that has the deep voice that does the videos for car insurance. Are you Unsafe fans?
Yeah.
Well, I forgot the car insurance company, but see, we both drew a blank.
Allstate?
Allstate, yes.
Allstate, yeah.
Yeah, it is Allstate. So she was working for Allstate at the time. She found a company, an Allstate office up here. She applied. They hired her the same day. So I was like, oh, then let me try then. I went to, because at the time I was working in sales and furniture. I went to Rooms to Go. I walked in. I was 20 years old at the time. They don't hire, by the way, at Rooms to Go, you have to be like 25 or 26. They usually hire older people. They don't hire young kids. I walk in, and I tell them where I worked at Badcock Furniture, this and that, selling furniture. They're like, oh, perfect timing. We're actually building a new beta store. It's called Rooms to Go Beds, where we sell only mattresses. And we actually need a few people. We need like 2 or 3, salespeople that have experience. So I gave them my resume. The very next day, they hired me. So then the same day, because we were in a hotel, we found an apartment that same day, got the apartment. We told the people we'll be back this weekend. We got married Saturday. The day before, we told all our friends we're leaving. Bye. They were like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. We got married, had our wedding, left Saturday night to the hotel, drove up here Sunday morning, started our jobs on Monday, moved into the apartment, and just started working from there. So yeah, that's why we didn't have a honeymoon, because we literally just went full throttle and just kind of jumped. Same scenario with the business, I guess. Yeah, again, we have no calculation at all. We just wing everything. Literally just wing everything. So yeah, that's why no honeymoon. So hopefully soon we have that.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you ever come out here to Hawaii, you need a place to stay. My wife and I, we have a 5-bedroom house, right?
Oh, nice.
Like two blocks away from Waikiki.
So. Actually, one of our guys that does emails, he lives in Hawaii.
Wow. He's
full time with us. He's a friend of ours. He lives in Hawaii as well. He just moved over there a year ago, something like that. Yeah.
Well, if you ever come to Oahu, if you're in Honolulu, you need a place to stay, just let me know. You got a place.
All right. Definitely.
Last couple of questions I do have for you. Like, so what's it like in the sense of like, I know you guys have some content creators that are sponsored, partner with you guys. What is that process like? What is it like selecting the content creators? Like, what are you specifically looking for? I know that's a loaded question, but
no, that's fine. So it's actually a good question because, again, we have a lot of creators that will reach out to us about this. And again, we're doing this very different from other companies. I didn't want to be known as a company where we're just sponsoring content creators left and right just because of their numbers. So we've only actually worked with a total of 4 content creators in total since we started this business. The first one was Classy from 100 Thieves, which the reason why I worked with him is because we became really good friends. And when he joined 100 Thieves, he needed a computer ASAP at his place in California. So I told him, I said, hey, let's do something. Let's work together, whatever. So we did it for 6 months with him, got him a computer, and he went over there. So then after that, we talked to, do you know King Gathalion?
Yeah.
So I've known him since back in the day in the Destiny community when I used to play Destiny. And he's helped me out before as well. So I kind of wanted to do one of those things where I wanted to kind of return the favor to a lot of people that did help me out in the beginning where I was a small fry. So, and some people already that have owned have my product already to begin with. So I talked to Corey, and Corey was already promoting us, like telling people about us before we even started working together. So I was like, look, you're already doing this for me, and I really appreciate that. So I want to start working with you. So we worked with him. Then we reached out to Pseudo, which she does a lot of paintings and stuff. I don't know if you know who Pseudo is.
I do.
Okay. So we became really good friends as well. We met at GCX, Guardian Con, all that stuff. Same thing. Started working with her, and then same thing with Big Cheese. Those 3 that I'm working with right now, of course, I've had other YouTubers and other content creators that have 25, 30 million, whatever on YouTube and all this crazy stuff. And I don't look at just numbers. I look at if we've become really good friends, we've connected, then I want to work with you. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be like, okay, here's a computer, go promote us. I don't want that. I want everything to be organic. I want everything to be, something that when the other thing too is with our sponsorships, we don't tell the content creators, okay, well, you have to tweet out at this time. You have to promote us at this time on your stream. You have to retweet this. You have to like this. We don't do that. I want it again to be all organic. So if you want to retweet our tweet, by all means, that's cool. Go ahead. If somebody asks you, hey, where do I get a computer from? And you stand behind our product, then go ahead. That's fine. Promote it. And I've even told this to creators, look, if you have a PC from us and you don't like our product, I don't want to sponsor you. Because then it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? So if they already have my product and they love the product and they promote us already to begin with, then I want to work with you. That means you truly do like our product. Ever since getting into this field and growing social media, I've had a lot of companies reach out to me and be like, look, we'll give you this amount of money every month if you promote our product. And I'm like, I don't like your product. So no. Sorry. Like, I mean, that's just the way I am. I'm not saying other people should do it this way. I'm just saying that's just how I am. As the company was growing, they were like, hey, promote us and this and that. And blah, blah. I'd be like, I don't like it. Sorry. It's not going to feel organic. I'm going to be like, hey, you should buy this because no, I don't like it. So that's how I felt. And that's how I feel like we want to continue moving forward with our content creators that we work with. We want to make sure that they enjoy their product, that they love their product. And content creators are really busy as it is. And there's enough stress already that I don't want to put that on them or be like, you have to tweet this, you have to do this, you have to promote us at this time and all that stuff. That's, again, when you can, you do it. So that's how we do it. That's how and so far it's been working out great and everyone's happy. We're happy with our creators. They're happy with us. And hopefully we continue it forward that way. And then as it grows, we'll definitely get more creators, of course, to work with. But I kind of like to choose because I like to work with the people that we've been working with. There's a few more that are on my list that I've been wanting to work with. And as stuff starts happening and capital starts coming in, I'm reaching out to them slowly to be like, look, I want to pay it back. You helped me out a lot. You bought a computer from us. So, but yeah, that's how it's gonna. I want to continue it forward for sure.
It's best that you're going with the organic approach because the whole numbers thing and
numbers never always revealed to sales. Yeah.
yes. I've got so much to say about that. So I've had so many people that I've dealt with, like creators, companies, and whatnot, that have this fixation on numbers, and I'm like, numbers don't equate to sales. One, numbers don't accurately reflect engagement because not saying a lot of people do it, but people can buy numbers to inflate themselves.
Yeah.
And
that's true. You can tell too when they do that.
Yeah, you can.
Wait, 3 million followers on Twitter, but you only average 10 likes? What's going on here? Trust me, that's the one thing I've looked into, and I'm like, something's not adding up here. What is going on here?
I saw this, I'm not going to name their name, but I saw this one YouTuber that does like helpful information on how to grow and stuff like this. And I'm like, you have over 1 million some odd subscribers. You've got hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter and Instagram, but you only have like 2 or 3 likes.
It's dead. Yeah, it's bots. Yeah, it's literally Which it's crazy. It's crazy you said that. A lot of companies, actually, like big companies, actually buy followers.
Yeah,
a lot of times they do that. It's actually a normal thing to do actually in this industry. And I was like, really? People do that? It's normal? Like, nah. I'm like, I'd rather have people interacting with their stuff. That's how you actually make it grow. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy how that works. Crazy industry, man.
Oh man. So the last question I have for you is, so if someone were to, if they're looking for a computer and they're looking for a great company to work with, why should they go with PowerGPU?
So my biggest thing is any company out there, yes, can build a computer. That's it's not the hardest thing. Now, there's different ways to build a computer. And I think that's where the difference comes in, where you could ask anybody that works with us. My wife and I are pretty OCD when it comes to cable management, to actual airflow, to stuff like that. Like, even if a computer's completely done, it's done with the software, it's done with everything, and we do our final check on it, there's one little scratch on top, or fan in the back is not adjusted properly, or this cable's literally just coming out the corner, we're sending it back. So that's probably one of the biggest things that separates us from a lot of companies. Like, we want that product to be the same for every client that orders from us. Doesn't matter how many followers you have, doesn't matter how much money you spent, you will get the same quality out of all of them. That's just how it is. My biggest thing is I never want to have a massive assembly line just pumping out pre-builds continuously. That's not what we're here for. We're here to make quality parts, quality PCs. We actually the other thing too is we actually changed the way the industry was when they put the computers together. A lot of companies, what they'll do is they'll just put it together, install Windows, install very basic drivers, and that's it. They wouldn't go any further than that. So when I started this company, since I do this to my own computers, when I build a computer, I do BIOS updates, I do XMP, I enable everything in the BIOS that needs to be enabled. We do all the drivers and installations, we do all that stuff, and we go further than that. So the good thing is that when you get your computer, you can literally turn it on, install your games, and you're good to go. Everything's updated, everything's good to go, and you're going to get the performance that you paid for. There's a lot of companies out there that they just put the computer together, and that's it. Little do they know, if they're running an AMD CPU and they're running the RAM at stock speeds default at 2133, you're losing 20% performance. Little things like that make a big difference. Now, it's as easy as going into the BIOS and enabling it, but you have to run tests to make sure it's stable at that speed. If you don't, it's not always going to be stable. So what separates us, I would say, is the attention to detail is what separates us. I think it's more of and I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible, of course, while doing all this, to make sure, because we take time on building a lot of machines and testing them and stuff. But that's definitely what separates us, is making sure everything's good to go. The client doesn't have to do anything. Now, obviously, every so often you might have a defective hardware. And the other thing that really separates us is our turnaround time on RMA stuff. Something gets defective. Like, we just got a PC in today because the motherboard's dead. He just got it. Brand new PC. Dead. Motherboard's just dead on arrival. Even though it worked here, we tested and everything. We just got it today. They're already switching out the board. It's going to get tested again. And it's going to be sent out back today. So our turnaround time for repairs are literally 1 to 2 days. We do not want to be like other companies where they have to wait 4 to 5, 6 weeks to get a repair done, because that is the most irritating thing for a client. They've been waiting long enough to begin with, and then they have to wait another 4 to 6 weeks. No, you need to get that computer out and make sure it's running properly for the client. So our biggest thing is, I focus a lot on returns or defective products. We focus our energy on those first to get them out because they already paid. They already have they already had it once, and it's there's an issue with it. And that's under our manufacturer warranty. So if this happens 8 months down the road, the service you're getting is going to be the same, even if you were within the 14-day return policy. So at working retail, I've noticed that's the biggest thing that will help your business grow is by making sure your clients get their product at a good timing. Nothing ridiculous, because right now the average turnaround time for companies for repairs is 2 weeks. I'm not doing that, not at all. So I think that's what really separates us too. Is as the team grows and they learn that will definitely make the client happy, we'll definitely get a focus on that aspect of the business for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I lied. I actually have a final question for you.
All right.
Did you have fun?
Oh yes, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's very, very. It was a lot of fun for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we go?
No, I'm trying to. No, nothing really. I mean, just FYI, if you see me on Twitter, I mean, just I'll be as nice as possible, but sometimes I bite a little bit here and there. Just I don't know if you've.
I've seen, but it's nothing wrong with that. It's a generational thing. I think our generation, you spoke to it earlier, like we're very different.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like even with like if we're troubleshooting for someone, so the hardest part about troubleshooting a computer is if the client wasn't honest with us, because we won't know what to troubleshoot if you're not honest with us. So I blatantly tell them, do not lie to me. Please tell me what you were doing before this happened. And a lot of them will lie because they're scared to avoid the warranty or whatever. But then we go around this massive circle and it's hard for us to figure something out. And then they get upset at us. I'm like, well, send your computer back. We'll figure it out. When we get it back, we see, oh, well, Joe was messing with his voltage and overclocking. We could have resolved that easily if you would have told us. We could have just hit F10 to reset to default and you would have been fine. But now it took longer and now it's a headache for all of us. So stuff like that, I think that's one of the biggest things I will tell people that are watching this podcast is be honest with troubleshooting, because it's harder on the tech support for us to figure out what's going on if you're not honest with us. And then it makes things even worse on top of that. Because honestly, here, I'll be honest with you. I'll leave one piece of advice for a lot of people, a lot of consumers out there.
Okay.
If you're honest and truthful with our brand, honestly, I don't know if this would be every brand, but it's one of those things where we will let things slide. If you literally tell me, hey, look, I was trying to overclock, I know this voids my warranty, but I think something's wrong with the computer. If you tell me that and we fix it like this for you because it's a simple setting switch or whatever, I'm not going to void your warranty because you were honest with me. I'm going to be nice about it. You know what I mean? We fixed it. It's working. It's fine. Nothing was wrong with it. So it's one of those things where I try to preach that out to a lot of our clients. Just let us know what happened. The more information we have, the truth, we can help you out a lot faster and make things a lot easier, a lot smoother. So that's the only thing I will say. So if you guys just be honest with us, that's all we need to know. That's all we need. It makes it a lot easier for all of us. Yeah.
Yep. And tell people where they can find you. I'm going to leave all the information, the links, everything. It's going to be down below in the description. But where can people find you?
I'm going to make this very easy. And I learned this from Professor Broman. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do.
But I've been on his podcast twice as well. And I remember speaking about this. In order to find us, all you have to do is type in PowerGPU into Google. That's it. Everything is PowerGPU. So there's nothing. You could go to TikTok, go to Twitter, go to Twitch, go to YouTube, all that stuff. It's just PowerGPU. Make things simple. So it's the username, just PowerGPU. That's it. Across the board.
That's consistency across the board. And it's okay. I know we were supposed to wrap it up, but I need to go on a little tangent about consistency because there's so many content creators I know that do not have consistency across the board. And I'm like, please.
I've had it before. Yeah. I tell them, I'm like, look, okay, I found you on Twitter, but I can't find you on Twitch now. Oh, because it's something XD 3740. I'm like, wait, so it's different? I'm like, no, you got to make it the same. Like, what are you doing? It's now I can't find your Twitch or I can't find your YouTube. And I've seen it before where content creators, their name is like, I've tweeted out about this a long time ago where I put examples. I was like, look, you click right here, Dr. Lupo. Oh, look, he's Dr. Lupo on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everything's the same. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just make it the same. And discoverability is they're going to find you a lot easier. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it simple for everyone to find you in this. How many millions of users are out there on Twitter, on Instagram, and Twitch, and all that stuff? Yeah, you got to make it easy for everyone else, so they can find your name. That's all it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's just PowerGPU. That's it.
Okay. So make sure, audience is listening, that's watching when this goes up. Make sure you go sub to our YouTube channel. Go follow them on Twitch. Go follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Stalk them on those social media. Just don't stalk and not literal stalk, but
we don't mind.
You know what I mean. But definitely go and show them some love, because this has been a phenomenal episode. Jesse, I would love to have you back on the show again if you ever.
I would love to
come back on.
Had a blast.
And like I said, you ever come out here to Hawaii? I know you like food.
Yes.
Got a couple places I want to take you to. I would definitely love to take you to a couple of the restaurants that are down the street from me, because we got some phenomenal. Whatever you like, everything is within a 2 to 3 minute radius from where I'm at right now. So.
I'm gonna have to tell the wife to move the business out there.
Right. That'd be no Well, actually, no, that wouldn't be any competition out here. And that's one of the beautiful things why I keep telling people out here, like businesses, content creators, like, do something, because there are. I'm going on another tangent.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so it's the thing of where, like, Hawaii, we're known for one thing.
Yeah.
And there's an opportunity to be a content creator, to do podcasting, to do, business out here that isn't just catering towards tourism.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't see it. And I'm like, the opportunity is there. Jump on it. Like, you're in Hawaii. Everyone looks at Hawaii's paradise. It's there. People don't. Yeah.
No, I got you.
They get mad at me because they're like, how dare you say you're Hawaii's #1 podcast? The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
They don't lie.
Yeah, it's true.
So, with that being said, with my tangent out the way, you can find this episode's podcast along with many others on youtube.com/Mikhail Kasanova, as well as on every major podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Pandora. We're also on Amazon Music. Amazon reached out to us to get our podcast on there, so we're over there. And the Kasanova Podcast across the board. Simplicity, consistency across the board. And make sure, again, I'm gonna reiterate this, because I know there's 2 people in the back that's not listening. God damn it, wake up and go and sub to PowerGPU's YouTube channel. Follow them on Twitch. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. TikTok. Yeah, go over on TikTok too. Go follow them. And if you need to get a new computer, go hit them up. Tell them I sent you. And with that being said, Jesse and I are signing out. You guys have a great one. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I hope it was informative, engaging, and you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a rating and a review. It greatly helps out the podcast and helps the platforms that we're on go ahead and promote us more so that more people can check it out. And if you're wondering what all platforms we're on, aside from what you've listened to it on, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. And if you want to support the podcast, then we've got Patreon, so patreon.com/Mikhail Kasanova, which allows us to continue doing what we're doing. If you're looking for this in video format, we're also available on twitch.tv/Mikhail Kasanova, as well as youtube.com/Mikhail Kasanova. So with all that being said, I'll catch you on the next episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast and the #1 podcast in the Pacific, the Kasanova Podcast. You have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.